What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got a huge update coming from the set of The View, guys. We got a cat fight that has broken out amongst the View host, Miss Sunny Hostin's taking things a bit too far. She's been known to take things a little bit overboard, guys. And then we've got Whoopi Goldberg, a seasoned vet on The View, who was there to put her back in her place, guys, nearly getting both of them fired. I'm excited to get into this clip. I'm not gonna do too much talking on the front end, guys. We're gonna get straight into the clip and see the cat fight, the exchange between Whoopi Goldberg and Sunny Hostin, and I'll get my thoughts on the back end, guys. So definitely stick around to the end so you guys get my thoughts on the back end, and also YouTube pushes this video out. Definitely stick around until the end. But yo, let's get straight into it. Before we do that though, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. Let's get into it, y'all.
I am a moronic comic book artist, barely literate. Spent most of my life watching Star Wars and drawing cartoon cats. And I know more about the Supreme Court. I'm more accurate on my predictions than Sunny or any of the people on The View. Makes me so sad. Not because I feel smart, but because they're so dumb. Welcome to Doug in Exile. Let's get dumb together and watch The View.
The Supreme Court has just ruled unanimously that Colorado courts cannot keep you-know-who off the state's ballot for engaging in insurrection, finding that a state cannot make a call that could have a national impact on a federal election.
This looks like Whoopi is going to a dentist. She's having to mouth these words. I love it. Where's the dance at for when Trump had to extracted all that money from Democrat judges that didn't involve actual justice, and these ladies are dancing all around. Now it's time for, this is actual justice. They look like they're at a funeral.
Of course, unless it's about a woman's right to choose, but let's not get into that.
We're not going to talk about a woman's right to choose, because you really mean you want to choose for a unborn woman inside the womb on whether she should exist or not. So yeah, you're right. We won't talk about that.
What do you all think of this? I mean, is anybody surprised by this decision?
No, and I actually think it was the right decision to make, because it would have, you know, if Colorado had been allowed to do that, we'd have this chaotic sort of process where you have 50 states and some are choosing to put him on the ballot and some are choosing not to put him on the ballot. So that's why this decision was unanimous in judgment. But
it's unanimous in judgment, and it was stupid and political for it to come up. But The View didn't weigh in and say that before today. They say it now after it got overturned, but deep down inside, they were hoping.
But if you read the dissent by Justices Sotomayor and Kagan and also Jackson.
I'm sorry, you're missing a name. Who could it be on the dissent? Oh, Amy Coney Barrett. You missed the conservative that is also, she's dissenting even though they voted in support of the Supreme Court. All these women did. The four ladies did. But Sunny doesn't bring up Barrett because she has to keep trying to say it is somehow political. And it's not, no matter how you look at it. Sunny's political. The Supreme Court was not in this case.
They are saying the Supreme Court went too far here because they answered a question that wasn't before them. The only question that was before this court was, can a state do this? Right. Instead, what they did was they insulated all alleged insurrectionists from future challenges to their holding federal office.
Because we know this, more of this was going to come from Democrats, so they weighed in on it. Future insurrectionists, no. And by the way, it was only 4 women dissented from the opinion that said future insurrectionists don't even bother trying to roll this one out. This is a Civil War era rule. It is not about what Trump is doing today or any of your opponents today.
And it is a tenet of Supreme Court law. I am a Supreme Court a bar admitted attorney.
I make comic books.
It says what it does today, the court should have left undone. And we always learn that in law school. The Supreme Court should just answer the question before it. And I have far too much hope that the court would be united in this and not overstep in favor of Donald Trump. And I think what we saw was a court where justices that behaved in a partisan manner.
It still wasn't partisan. She's on a united 9-0 vote. She's saying it's partisan. Sonny, no matter how you slice it, you can't do it. Keep trying, but the Supreme Court, live in front of everyone, proved you wrong.
Started to gain faith, as Sonny would tell us, like, this is going to get him. And I was like, But seeing it, I now get the chaos which would ensue. And I think it's important when you don't like the outcome, which I'm not saying I don't.
Yeah, the problem is she's saying it right there. She goes, I had faith in Sonny that she was almost right. And then history and reality proved her wrong.
Ron DeSantis actually at one point said, I'm actually looking at this in Florida now. Could we make a credible case that Biden should be removed because of whatever reason he can come? And that could be happening, as you said, in every other state.
That's all that Ron DeSantis was saying is, let's see how the Supreme Court says. Can you remove people from the ballot? Because let's get Biden off the ballot. That's exactly why the Supreme Court had to rule the way they did, why it was unanimous, why it was always going to go with this way. And only anti-legal theory, anti-constitutionalist, amateur, hardened leftist, delusional people thought different.
The only place to beat Donald Trump is at the ballot box.
It's time to stop prosecuting Trump with all this lawfare. It didn't work, guys. Now let's get to the ballot box.
And the way to do that, yes, you have to litigate his unfitness, his anti-constitutional stances, but we also have to pay attention to the issues that the voters who are still with him care about. I think that I'm curious to hear what Joe Biden says in the State of the Union coming up later this week, but voters for the first time, the majority are saying border security matters to us. They're saying the economy matters, and we've seen... That's
the bottom line of this whole thing. The Democrats are coming around, and this fake Republican is coming around. Finally, they're going... It's about the economy and the southern border. Here's a few news articles to back that up. Here's CBS News. I posted this on the community chat for the channel yesterday. If you subscribe to our channel, then you'll see those community posts. CBS News poll finds voters remember Trump's economy as good, boosting Trump to national lead over Biden today. Nationally, he just went ahead of Biden. Trump did. Why? It's the economy that people remember. So all the gaslighting of all these people saying Biden's economy is good, Biden's economy is good, the people don't remember it that way, you brainwashers. As Super Tuesday makes an historic rematch all but official, voters are comparing not just two presidents, but two presidencies. And right now, former President Donald Trump emerges from that comparison as the front runner. He leads President Biden by 4 points nationally, his largest lead to date. Here's why. Voters recall the economy under Trump more fondly than they rate the economy now. That means reality won out over the lies of The View. While neither gets great marks, voters today look back on Trump's presidency with relatively better retrospective ratings than they'd rate Joe Biden's presidency so far. And remember, the Democrats thought all of this would be negated if they could just get some of these lawsuits to stick against Trump. But none of them are sticking. They're not working. So now they have to go back to the old issues of how's the economy? How were you under Trump? How's the border?
We have to realize that voters aren't necessarily following this 24-hour news cycle of the Trump drama. They're voting with their pocketbooks, and to beat him, it's going to come down to with a different alternative.
But I think they're also voting based upon a lot of the misinformation that they're getting from Fox News.
Oh, it's so lazy. As if Fox News, what about, the ratings of The View? What about your audience? Why is Fox News beating so much better at brainwashing people than you guys who are bury the needle against Trump?
Right, and from other outlets.
We're another outlet.
So I think that has a lot to do with why they're sticking with him in this cultish manner, and let's call it what it is. It feels like a cultish manner.
Why are you sticking with Biden in a cultish manner? See, what's good for Biden followers? Fine, we're in a cult. But then you're in a cult too for sticking to Biden because all five of you are going to vote for Biden. You are not going to vote for Trump. So you are sticking to him in a cultish manner, regardless of how the economy is doing and how the law, even the Supreme Court agrees with Trump. Your little cult makes you vote for Biden.
But to your point, yes, they didn't find that he was an insurrectionist. They didn't reach that issue. But what they did do, when you read the entire opinion, is even if he were an insurrectionist, they have somehow insulated him.
They didn't find he was an insurrectionist, but even if he was an insurrectionist, you could not use this law against him. That's what they decided, and that is extremely correct.
So if he is found to be an insurrectionist, the way I read this, he can still be the president of the United States. And I thought that the 14th Amendment and our framers knew better.
Here's where you're wrong again. I'm so sorry to embarrass you on this, Sonny. The framers it didn't come up to the framers because the insurrectionist clause, that whole thing, didn't come about until the Civil War. It was the Civil War that said people in the South were insurrectionists and so were disqualified from being the president. So that the framers never would have weighed in on it because it was about 75 years later. So now you know this was never going to be something that the founders envisioned. It's something that the Civil War level Supreme Court weighed in on, and now it does not in any way apply to Trump.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Coming from our friend Doug in Exile. Definitely be sure to leave the original video link down in the description box below for those who want to go over there and check that out. Also, if you guys do go over there and show our friend Doug a bit of love. Oh my goodness, you guys. It's almost sad to see the TDS blinders are on so strong for Sunny Hostin, guys. She cannot get over that derangement syndrome, that Trump derangement syndrome that she has seething and running through her blood. If we run this back a couple weeks back when the Colorado Supreme Court was trying to, take Trump off that ballot, guys. If we run this back and remember the take that Sunny Hostin had, she was not on, the side of trying to keep Trump's name on that ballot. She was going for whatever the Supreme Court ruled. If they were to rule to take him off, she would have been doubling down in support of the rule, guys. Let's be real with ourselves. Now we're seeing her come back and trying to double back on her statement that she's already made, guys. And then we're still seeing that she's flip-flop on the situation. She doesn't really make up her mind if this is right or not. Trump is still going to be on that ballot, guys. She wanted a cheap cop-out to get his name off that ballot. Throughout that whole clip, guys, we only seen one logical take, and that was coming from Alyssa Farah Griffin, where she said, there's only one way that you can truly beat Donald Trump, and that's going to be at the ballot box, guys. All this, court cases and the legality of, trying to beat Trump, it's never going to work. You guys are going to have to beat him at the right place, at the right time, and it's going to be at the ballot box. Joe Biden knows he's not prepared to do that, and that is exactly why we're seeing the octopus-like probe being launched on Donald Trump, where they're trying to, come at him from all different levels, all different entities are coming after Donald Trump, trying to weaponize the Department of Justice system. This is all in efforts to, tie up his resources that he has, all his campaign funding and his legal resources. We're not seeing it on the front end, guys, but in the background, his legal team is fighting night and day to prove this man's innocence, all for these charade cases that have been brought about against him. Wouldn't have been brought about if he wasn't running for that 2024 election. None of the extreme measures, the great lengths that the left has been going to take this man down would have been taken or, acted upon if this guy would have never came out and said he's running for president in 2024 later on this fall, guys. And that's why we're seeing, and all their motives are blatantly showing because all the timing of it. They're trying to hurry up and get this guy convicted and tried, or at least get a trial started before he is elected in, guys. It's not going to work. We're seeing the View hosts stamping their feet, guys, upset. Whoopi Goldberg, Sunny Hostin about going at it because Supreme Court is not going to be in favor of corruption, guys. Our Supreme Court is going to have to rule in favor of what's right and rule in favor of justice, guys. And quite frankly, what we've seen happen in Colorado by the Supreme Court was not just, guys. It was not right. And that's why they had to go ahead and put his name back on the ballot, guys. They can stump their feet and cry all day, guys. Trump is going to be on that ballot. He's going to at least get a fight in the 2024 election, guys. Definitely hop in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. Sunny Hostin absolutely having a bout with her Trump derangement syndrome. So funny to see. Definitely hop in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys hit that share button. Share this out to as many Facebook friends as possible. And also make sure you guys hit that like button. Does not cost a thing. Hit that like button for your boy. And also hit that subscribe button, guys. We're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. I'll catch you guys on next week. Yo, what's happening, Retro fam? Are you guys looking for a way to connect with your boy Retro and the Retro fam on a day-to-day basis? Look no further, guys. Memberships have now been launched where you can gain exclusive access to chat with your boy Retro and the community and gain perks, guys. Just hop in the description box below and check out the link for memberships, guys. You can subscribe on a monthly basis to chat and have exclusive perks with your boy Retro and the Retro community, guys. Check that out in the description box today.